The backward logic of austerity threatens America's most vibrant campus. CUNY must be saved from needless cuts. Last month, the administration at Brooklyn College, part of the City University of New York, announced that in anticipation of a coming budget crisis, departments must reduce their course offerings by 25%. This will mean firing large numbers of adjunct professors, some of whom will lose their health insurance in the middle of a pandemic. Mass firings have already started at other CUNY campuses. 450 to date at John Jay alone. They could happen at Brooklyn any day. Remaining classes will then swell, which is bad for in-person education, but worse if classes remain online, as anybody who has tried to teach on Zoom can attest. The administration has said the projected savings from terminating adjuncts and ballooning classes at Brooklyn College would be $1.4 million. On the scale of New York State's budget, the system's main funding source, that's a rounding error for our adjuncts and our students. It's a disaster. After years of being brutalized by Albany, CUNY has apparently so thoroughly internalized the backward logic of austerity that it responds to a crisis by attacking itself. Can I skip the part where I drive home the importance of public education by highlighting a brilliant student and what she's achieved despite economic hardship? I know and admire scores of such students, but this isn't only about the stars. It's about the commons, the fact that an outstanding public education should be available to everyone in New York and beyond. CUNY is the nation's largest urban education system. Its 275,000 students are spread across 25 campuses. Brooklyn College, like the rest of CUNY, crackles with energy and intelligence. Its diversity represents a wealth that transcends any fiscal metric. That's why it is, despite decades of disinvestment from the state, the most vibrant campus I know, here or abroad. It also largely runs on underpaid adjuncts, who are often graduate students. In recent weeks, these adjuncts and their students have struggled valiantly to move the university online as Zoom classes become sites not only for learning but also for mutual aid. The correlation of COVID-19 deaths with race and class is well documented. The CUNY student body is around 30% Latins, 25% Black, 21% Asian, and 23% white, many of whom are white immigrants. Nearly a third of our students at Brooklyn have sick family members. Many are in mourning. CUNY adjunct faculty members and their students are often the city's essential workers, stocking the grocery stores or driving Ubers or ambulances. Is an Uber ambulance next to the privatized city, or is that already here? While caring for older and younger family members, and then they show up to take or reach, and then they show up to take or teach the chemistry or composition class to reassert their with their virtual meeting the actual stakes of living and learning together. Austerity is powerful people saying we'll have to endure painful cuts when we means everybody but us. In the coming months, CUNY might well be told by Albany to slash its payrolls and compromise its classes. At that point, the CUNY leadership, along with our strong union and student activists, along with anybody who cares about the city, should fight back. It should demand that Governor Andrew Cuomo increase taxes on the wealthy, issue bonds the Federal Reserve will buy, or otherwise find ways to make her city university system a priority. In early February, a poll conducted for the American Federation of Teachers found that some 90% of New Yorkers support taxing the wealthy to raise public revenue. Democrats control both houses of the state legislature and the executive. The rhetoric of austerity is as empty as the luxury towers we pass by on our socially distanced walks. The adjuncts I work with typically have, or at least they had, several jobs in addition to their own teaching how else to survive in a city from which all but the very rich are increasingly priced out, and still these adjuncts are spending unpaid extra hours with their students, standing with them in this disastrous time, trying to remind them of their other times and human possibilities through the study of a poem or work of political theory or a strand of DNA. The CUNY administration could be asking how it can best support these important teachers now. Let's start by not firing them. This pandemic has made painfully clear both our shared vulnerability and its uneven distribution. So far, our under-recognized and underpaid frontline workers, a great number of them CUNY students and graduates, have been receiving nightly applause. Applaud their adjunct teachers too, but we owe the adjuncts more than applause. We must stop in the realm of education and beyond, in the city and beyond, the broken record of austerity in which crises caused or compounded by underfunding public institutions are used to justify another round of cuts.